gamers, and welcome to episode 462 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for July 20th, 2024. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
Not much, man. Just waiting for the summer to be over, man. That's what I'm waiting for, man.
It's going down a little bit this weekend, but it seems like it's going to shoot right back up, so...
Yeah, it did, man. It did. We actually had a pretty okay these last 3 days, maybe. But man, this is it's been. I hate that change, man. I hate when it's too hot, and then, I like it when it goes down, but I just wish it stay down. But yeah, I just hate summer. That's just what it is.
I just hate the sun. Let's block it out.
We
haven't learned
exactly.
that that's a bad idea from any cartoon shows at any point in time.
But see, that's the thing. It's like it's not even just the sun. It's all just the earth and
humidity,
and
the heat.
Yeah. And I feel bad for those. Like I don't know what's going down in Houston now or that area.
Yeah.
People were out of power down there, man, and that freaking sucks. It's also weird. Like, it's not weird. Because Texas always had like its own grid stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's not part of So I don't know. I hope things get fixed for those people down there because that's got hell. Because I know. I would just say I'll say okay, it's over. It's over. It's like just end me now. If the power went out, man, and it gets
no air conditioning, no fans,
and
nothing.
I will have a gun, so I'll be like, well, this is it.
This is the easy way,
I guess. Yeah. Anyway, I will. What I was about to say? Oh yeah, sports. Let's get into sports real quick. All-Star game happened, everything. Orioles did not get swept by the Yankees, thank God. They did win with the walk-off by Cedric Mullins, so happy. The All-Star game, the American League did win. Home run derby, unfortunately for me, the Oriole didn't win. Gunnar Henderson, and he got put out the first round. He had the least amount of home runs, so that was unfortunate. They did change the rules so that it's not head-to-head, that it is the top four who will go to the next round, which they did that last year because then we would have had Adley Rutschman in the second round. But I'm glad they changed those rules because, the idea of going head-to-head is cool because you're like going against somebody, but then it's like, man, if the two head-to-heads have a lot of home runs, it's like, oh, that guy should have gone to the second round. He's better. He did better than the other guys. I just watched the first round then because all I cared was about Gunnar Henderson once he was out, and he was the last one to go up because he had the most home runs out of the people who were there during the season. He was the last one to go, and so I watched everybody, and then I saw him, and then he was out, so I was like, well, I'm done, and so. The guy who won, I believe, is Teoscar Hernandez from the Dodgers. So he went. Now the people with the most home runs didn't go, like Judge and Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani, he technically has an injury because that's why he's not able to pitch. He's just able to hit. So it just feels like he don't want to go for the home run derby. So he said he wants to do it next year. Judge, I don't know why Judge said no, but a guy who won it 2 times already, he didn't win. Alonso, he was there. He was trying to be 3 like Ken Griffey was. And Ken Griffey rules, I didn't remember the rules, but Ken Griffey did it. They only got 10 swings, so you had to hit. Yeah, so it was definitely a whole lot different than what this is. You talking about a lot more swings because it's a timer. It's 3 minutes, and then you get bonuses you get a bonus time to do. So yeah, it was. I enjoyed it though for what I've seen. I didn't watch the All-Star game, but I heard that Gunnar Henderson did a good defensive play in there, and I believe Anthony Santander did get a hit, and he got a run. He ran and he got a run. Somebody knocked him in, but I don't know who won MVP of that. But I'm glad we had what 5 Orioles who went. So I'm like, yay, that's
Yeah,
good.
that's awesome.
And now we had one game since Access Park has been one game since the All Star game because it started Friday. They had technically a week off because if you didn't go to the All Star weekend, so they played Texas. Basically the All Stars probably just stayed in Texas. Uh, or I don't know. Yeah, I wonder when the Orioles went down to Texas. I mean, they had a break, but people who have families, they're from Texas. They already probably went down, and I'm assuming the people who went to the All Star game just stayed there because they're like, oh, I'm going to be playing here, this weekend. So yeah, they played the Rangers and they beat them first game, and yeah, the bats were great for the Orioles. Gunnar had like 4 hits. Adley Wetchman Hunch home run, and Anthony Santander had 2 home runs. Then Cowser got a home run. Yeah, man, they look good at the first game, so it's like good. They don't look rusty or nothing, and hopefully they can keep it going because the first half was good. It just really ended sourly. Like it was pretty much the ending was a little down. Like they lost quite a few games. Um, so now it's hopefully this break really helps them get back on track because as far as like I don't know how they do it, but they go by like who has the easiest schedule. We have one of the easiest schedules coming up, and so we really have no excuse really to not make the playoffs. Because like yeah, we're already technically in first place. Like I mean I think or half a game or so. Like we're right there with the Yankees. Put it like that. So we should make the playoffs. I know people say oh but making the playoffs but we gotta win. See that's true. But look man, I'm not. We haven't made the playoffs 2 years in a row since um I don't know when, honestly, Daniel. It's like, so it's been a while. It's been a while since we made 2 playoffs in 2 years in a row. I think we did it one time during the Adam Jones era of Buck when Buck was our manager. I think we did it once. I'm not sure because I remember we were doing it every other year. But yeah, so I want to get there 2 years in a row. I mean, I want to win, and once you get there, hey things can happen. So you gotta be in the playoffs to win. So, um, yeah, man, just enjoying this season. And football's around the corner, man. You got college football, NFL. Yeah, man, it's just a great time for sports fans out there, man. Um, and the Olympics are coming up. Shucks, the Olympics are like just around the corner.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got that going on. All right, so that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, there was a death, a former Raven, Jacoby Jones, who's really known for his kick returning. I think he had held the record for the most all-purpose yards in the playoffs or something like that, or the Super Bowl. I forget what the exact record is, but he was a big part of that Super Bowl winning team of 2013 Super Bowl, and. Yeah, man, he died. I don't know how he died. I didn't. Well, when I saw it, they didn't have a reason. I don't know if they have a reason now, but yeah, it's heard he passed away. He was young. I mean, he was on my age. I think he was like what 40, something either 39 or 40. So I was like, darn, man. Yeah, man, that kind of just snuck up because the first I heard about it, I actually saw somebody just talking about them having an interview with some reporter, and I didn't know it was about his death. I thought it was just the guy who I follow just talking to Jacoby Jones or something. And I was like, okay. And then next thing I know, I saw something on the news like Jacoby Jones passing away. I said, oh my god! I said, what? And I was thinking like, man, this man can't be that old. Because I remember when I did see him, I was like, oh hey, this guy's our age. Went back like the 10 years, like 10, almost 10 years ago. I was like, yeah, man, that's sad. That he went so young. So they still don't have they don't even put a reason cause of death.
No.
Yeah, so they either keep it close or I don't know, but I hope it's nothing if it's some disease, something, it's unfortunate. I just hope it's nothing like suicide or nothing, or drugs. I really hope it's nothing like that happened. And if it is, if it's CTE or something, I'll be, oh man, that shit's serious. But hell, I don't know. But yeah, it's all speculative. So right now we just know he's died, and yeah, sad to see him go. Yeah, so that's it. That's all I have for sports, really. So you got anything?
No, nothing for wrestling this week. Nothing too interesting happened.
Okay. Cool. So we can go. Well, Hulk Hogan was at the the RNC.
Does that count? Yeah.
So yeah. So he was there. Representing his people.
Yeah,
that's good. All right. So I guess we get into what we're watching. So you want to go ahead?
Kick it off since you've been talking.
Yeah.
First up, watch Moneyball. That's a pretty old movie at this point, but I was telling you after watching the Gran Turismo movie and having sort of missed out on Rush and Ford versus Ferrari being on the streaming services that I had, and looking at my Netflix list and seeing a whole bunch of stuff that I've been wanting to watch. Meanwhile, I felt like I was kind of like in between shows. So I started looking through my list, and they had Moneyball is leaving soon. So I was like, you know what? Let me take this opportunity and start watching this now. And just surprise, surprise, it's a very good movie. Brad Pitt playing Billy Beane, the general manager of the Oakland A's back in the day, right after Giambi left.
Man, they're about to go to Sacramento this year, man. Next year. I'm sorry, next year. It's the last time they're going to be in Oakland. And then I guess they're going to be in Sacramento for God knows how long until they get that place fixed up in Vegas or whatever happens in Vegas. I don't know.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
That sucks.
Yeah. And it's just, it was really well acted movie, of course. You've got Brad Pitt, you've got Jonah Hill, and a whole bunch of other guys just doing a great job. Chris Pratt's in there.
And which we call it, he was unknown then.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard the voice and I was like, wait a second. And then I was like, oh yeah, I forgot he was in this movie. But basically telling the story about how, the Oakland A's, they lost all their star players and they were trying to piece things together with a very low budget, and they figured out they can basically use the algorithm to decide what players to play. Also, the person that I was surprised to see in that movie was Philip Seymour Hoffman. He played the head coach, and I think it's been a while since I've seen a movie with Philip Seymour Hoffman. And obviously because he's passed away, but like even having seen, I haven't seen an older movie where he was in it in quite a while, so it was kind of surprising to see.
That man had some range, man.
He really did.
Yeah, think about it. He had some range because he played in some funny movies, man. That that the type of movies he played in, you just wouldn't think like, wait, he played in this movie, but he was all serious in here, and yeah man, he played some different parts, and man, it's just unfortunate, man. That damn man, don't do drugs, people.
Yes, absolutely.
Do drugs. Or do the fun ones.
Do the ones that don't take lives. And don't drive when you do them. Yeah. So the fantastic movie, though. I think it's great. If you haven't seen it, highly recommended. And yeah, because I vaguely remember that stuff when I was younger too, kind of seeing all that stuff go down at the time. Because obviously,
because I was watching baseball then when they did that, and I remember like that story. I mean, not like exactly how they did it, just that the A's, they're a surprise team. And man, I was so rude because I watched that playoff when they were playing against Yankees. I was rooting for them to beat the Yankees.
Absolutely.
I was like, yes, they're up 2-0. Then they lost the next 3, and I was like, God fucking damn it. I said it was fixed. I said it's fixed. They didn't want them to go.
And to this day, they're still fixing
it. I was like, oh man, because I remember, because my friend, we were all rooting, like, yes, the Yankees about to get swept. They say, yes, they about to get swept, those bastards. But those sons of bitches, they fucking won the next damn 3. I was like, damn it. But yeah, because I remember it's like there's a bunch of nobodies, except for like what's his name? He did steroids. You find out Giambi.
Oh yeah,
except for Giambi.
Yeah.
Well, the older Giambi, because his brother, I think he ended up getting traded.
Yeah. Now I'm forgetting his name, but yeah, they traded him to the Phillies.
Yeah, because I was pissed because Giambi, I think the next year he went to the Yankees.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, you son of a bitch! You joined them. You joined the Empire.
It's exactly. Yep, that's exactly what it was. Yeah, they lost to the Yankees. Then he joined them. Then they brought his brother in to the A's, and then they traded him away based on this movie because of his poor leadership skills in the locker room and his awful dancing. It's so funny when Brad Pitt finally decides like he's got to interact with the team because, you know, up to that point he's like, you know, I'm trying to stay away from the team so it's easier to make these cuts and these trades and all this stuff. And then once he finally gets involved and he goes in there and Giambi's on the table dancing like just doing his pelvic thrusting. And then he tells him to get off the table and he's still just like slowly, very lightly pelvic thrusting in his direction. It's like, yes, no wonder he traded this man. This is based on true events.
Yeah, because it was that street and I remember seeing ESPN and stuff. He talking about it and like, oh, the A's won again. I was like, oh shucks, that's cool, man.
Yeah, they won 20 games.
While my team years later was on the streak to win and lose the most games in a row, and I was rooting for that. Yeah.
Sometimes you just need the record, Dominic, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I need something to happen. There we go. And I don't think we did it because I think it was doing a podcast when the Orioles.
Yeah, no, it was just a couple years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. So. I don't know I don't think they broke it though. I think we won. I don't know. I don't remember now.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But it was a fun ride watching the news thing.
It's all we had at the time. They definitely weren't going on any winning streaks. All right. So watch that, and then also watch Don't Look Up, another Netflix movie. That's the one with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence.
That's definitely a woke movie. That is a woke movie.
It is definitely. It was especially weird.
And I'm about to say Al Gore movie.
Al Gore movie, yeah. It was especially weird watching it. Basically, the morning after all the Trump stuff happened, the assassination attempt. Because it was very much like, hey, this is kind of what's happening now, is like the whole premise behind the Don't Look Up title is that at the beginning of the movie, Jennifer Lawrence discovers an asteroid that's going to come and hit the Earth, and they only have like 30 days or something like that. So they go to Washington and basically they're like, you know, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it, you know. Just don't look up. And then you had people, you know, once it got out a little more, you know, once they started talking about it in the media and stuff, you would have people who were literally like, just don't look up. So yeah, it's definitely got a message to say. You know, it is it's done by the guy that did it's not Judd Apatow, it's the other guy, Adam McKay. The guy that did like the movie with Margot Robbie in the tub where she's explaining like economics and stuff. So it's got very much that same sense of humor to it. Where
I've never seen that.
No, are you sure? What is that movie called?
She was in a tub explaining economics.
Okay. Yeah, it's just like a scene or two. The Big Short. You've seen The Big Short, right? With Christian Bale and Brad Pitt.
Robbie was in the. I don't remember that scene.
Yeah, it's just like a quick scene where it's just like a cutaway, and it's like, yeah, you don't understand this. You don't understand this concept. So here's Margot Robbie in the tub telling you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, The Big Short. Okay, so yeah, he did that movie. Yeah, it definitely. Then I definitely understand. Yeah, what this movie's about.
Yeah, it's that style where he's explaining kind of a serious situation, but in a relatively lighthearted manner.
Yeah.
So I would recommend it.
Asteroid, but is the asteroid a symbolism though of Is it climate change or?
I mean, it's effectively a symbol for anything that could be bad for the country, you know, and our kind of willful ignorance to ignore the reality of things. So yeah, it very much can be, you know, climate change, but in a much smaller, not scale, but like timeline, a much shorter timeline.
Yeah, timeline. Yeah. Because it's coming fast. That day's coming a lot faster than
they've got, you know, mere days away.
Then seeing dead polar bears on the shores.
Exactly. Yeah, so I recommend this movie too. I think it was good. You know, we were talking between ourselves before recording last week about this movie and whether it was actually like a good movie or not. Because like on Rotten Tomatoes and stuff, it's got maybe like a 70 something or something like that. But I would probably put it higher than that. I don't know if that score is affected by, you know, people's views or whatnot.
Liberal bias.
Yeah.
Liberal bias.
But I think just from a movie standpoint, it's quite entertaining. It's not quite as lighthearted as like Veep, but there's definitely like shades of Veep as well with the president in this. Yeah. And Jonah Hill.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like it could be funny.
Yeah, it is.
And for a Netflix movie, because this is like something you could just watch on Netflix. But then again, if COVID didn't happen, would this movie have still been just on Netflix?
That's a good question.
Like from the start.
You know, that's definitely a good question. Especially, I mean, you've got two very large actors in there with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised. You've also got like small roles from Timothée Chalamet. Kate Blanchett's in there. Meryl Streep is the president. Like they've got a lot of people in this movie.
A woman president?
A woman president, yes. That's why things are falling apart and asteroids are flying at our planet down. That's, you know. But yeah, so I would recommend it. If you've got Netflix, check it out. It's worth giving it a shot. I also watched what was on, I can't remember if it was on Netflix or now I'm gonna blank on the title. It was about a kid in like the 90s going to a water park, kind of as a place to run away from because his mom and his like and her boyfriend are taking him to a beach town for the summer, and he's just like, this is the worst. And it's got Sam Rockwell in it. Let's see. The Way Back. I feel like I remember when this movie came out it was 2013, looking at it and going like, oh, that probably is a lot of fun. And it was. It's about this teen kid. He's basically, you know, not happy with where his family life is right now, and he kind of escapes to this water park where he makes friends and, you know, kind of becomes a cool kid. It's got Maya Rudolph in it, Toni Collette, Steve Carell. Steve Carell's like the bad boyfriend kind of guy. Just a little too strict. But yeah, okay. That was good. And that was Paramount Plus is where I saw that. So yeah. So what have you been watching, Dominic?
All right. So what have I been watching? Oh, let me get back here. All right. So I finished the season of Invincible, and it was overall, I think I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. Did I like it better than the first one? Maybe not, but it's not. But I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to remember. Like, I really enjoyed the first one, and I think this is probably the same. I mean, it's nothing like wrong this did. I can't think of that I would say why it would be lessened than the first one. It's just, I just think the shock value of it is just whatever shock value like came from watching, because I knew nothing about Invincible. I mean, now I know it, and
yeah, that makes sense.
This was fine. Now how I ended, I think it. I don't know, because I never looked up to see how people really thought of this. But for me, how it ended okay, even though I thought it was another episode, after. And I mean, but then I said, oh, that was it. And I was like, I guess that's a good cliffhanger ending because of what is about to happen or possibly happen. The a little spoiler, like the relationship between him and his girlfriend, I actually like how it progressed or degressed, or how you whatever put it. How because like because I already knew what was probably going to happen. Like I mean, little spoiler, I didn't think they was going to stay together.
Now this is the regular girl, right? This is in Adam Eve.
Yeah, the regular. Yeah, okay. yeah, exactly. And because it's just like I didn't read the comics. I just felt it like Adam Eve seemed like the person to do. And right. When he had that, but the girl was cool with it. So like, okay, maybe this could work. But then it was just that she's not used to him being what he is, a hero, and her explaining why it just seemed like working for both of them. And it's like I understand. It's just like with people who marry, like be with somebody who do a dangerous job or something, like either a police officer, fireman, a Walmart employee. But you know, they dangerous jobs. You know, like because you always worried about them, and you don't know if you can take it. Like, oh man, they might not be coming home tonight. Something might happen. They do. Well, see, thing is, usually you hope you find somebody that can, if you do those jobs, they're okay. Like they know the deal, and or like a soldier, somebody's a soldier or something like that. Like you know the deal that yes, they possibly can't come back or something, and not everybody can deal with that. That's why they don't get relationships. Some people do get in relationships still, and they don't realize it until later because sometimes you just don't know until you've been there a while. And like that's what it was with her. It's like she understands. She doesn't hate him for doing it. And she says she feels bad that she doesn't like that he's gone all the time. But she wants somebody to be there.
Right. Because
she's just normal. And I feel that. It's like, yeah, that it's not going to work. And it's better now. Y'all young. Like, you just started freshman in college. I'm like, man, you're going to think back on this. It's like, damn. It's like, that was a good decision. And it wasn't that serious. But I mean, you're young. You don't know that. Yeah. But I was like, hey, get better now because you could have been married with a kid or something. And some people they try to work it out. And sometimes it just never does. And then, you know, people start getting angry with people. Like, people start getting mad. But at the end, like, because I see that in TV shows. Like, some people said, like, I don't want you to be caught no more. After they've been a cop for years. Yeah. And it's like, dude, this is what I do. Yeah. I like my job.
How did you think this conversation was going to go?
Yeah, I was like, I'm just going to stop now. Now, some people do change. They stop. But I was like, for you to go expect that's not good, man. Especially if they started out as a cop. Ain't like they just became one. It's like, dude, you can't. Yeah, it's like you're asking a tall order, somebody to change their life, because you're afraid. And so I do like how that went. I know maybe some people would think it went too long, but I don't know because I think you had to build up to it. So it was fine. Like I thought I was gonna be kind of a little annoyed with the whole thing because I was getting a little like her always like he's leaving all the time, and it's like, oh no, he's leaving. See, the difference is that she knows what he's doing. See, with like Spider-Man, I was getting annoyed because he always had to keep lying.
Right.
Because they didn't know who he is. It's like, oh no, I have to do this. He has to make up an excuse. And I was like, dude, just you say either you love this person now and tell them the truth, or fuck it. You can't do it. All you can do is just have short relationships. Because it's not fair to them. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not fair to them.
No.
Yeah, that you keep leaving and like I want to be with them, but I can't tell them because I'm trying to protect them.
Yeah,
then
that's selfish.
Because then now I think about it, it's like, well, then Spider-Man, you want people to be safe. If you're not willing to tell them the secret, don't be with them. That's how you protect them. Because now you're not with them. Nobody can really choose to hurt them because they don't know you're with them. They don't know because you're not having a relationship with them.
There's no reason for them to hurt them.
Yeah. So basically, you're just like, you're trying to have your cake and eat it too, and you can't do that. So that's the difference between this one. That I'm not too annoyed, and like with that, like he has to keep going. He gets frustrated, but it's like that's the life. You gotta choose. And then the mother, and see, that's why I like with Eve, because Eve was like, look, I'm choosing. So this is I think something's like, oh, I'm on call, and she's like, this is why I stopped being a superhero, because you don't have to be on call. Like, you'll help people when you have a chance, but you're not like, it's not messed up your life. It's not this, like, the life you have, like you're trying to live. It's not messed up because you got to keep worrying about the whole world and worry about that guy that keep calling you the agency or something, like, oh, this thing happening and blah blah blah. Especially a young kid, like the mother was trying to tell you, like, you're young, you need to do this, but he feels responsible. So I mean, and I get it. So yeah, but I think that was pretty good. And there's other stuff I'm gonna get into, but I want you to watch it first, so I don't want to spoil too much. But I thought overall it was pretty good. I'm just curious how fast the animation, how fast the next season gonna come. Animation's not great. They even make fun of it in the show about the animation.
But they
like,
he
was at like a Comic-Con convention or something, and they were saying, like, yeah, you see, like, in his animation, like, you have a far out scene, but people don't really notice, like, nobody's really moving. But, you're not really thinking about that, so you save money. And you have scenes where, like, some people just don't move and just move, and, like, they cover their mouths. The mouths, you can't really see them moving because they don't know if they're speaking that part or something. Like, they go to the thing, it's like, oh, it's kind of funny, but it also says, like, damn, man, is it show not, I guess the first season wasn't popular enough where you could do better animation? Is that what it's that? No, and that's what sucks. It's like
the first season did well enough that they realized that they didn't have to make better animation.
Yeah, and that's it. It's like it's always those two ways, right? It's always the two ways. So it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Like, basically, it's almost saying, like, you're not getting better in animation, no matter what. If the show suck, we're not doing another show. If the show's great, we're doing it, and we're still saving money. All right. Also watched Mortal Kombat Battle of the Realms, I think it's called. That's the second Mortal Kombat movie, newer movies, cartoon movies. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Actually, did I see the very end of this movie? You know what? I don't know if I saw the very end. Not yet.
So you didn't enjoy it.
But so far, I don't know about the ending, but so far I enjoyed it throughout. It is a continuation from the first one. This is because if you saw the first one, it ends with them winning Mortal Kombat, but still not facing Shao Kahn yet, because it was what's his name? What's his name for the first game? The guy who can change the people.
Why am I blanking on his name? Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung, yeah, because they fought Shang Tsung, and then. But he went back to Outworld and stuff, and now it's the battle for the realms. Now it's like because Outworld wants to root everything, and Shinnok is also behind the scenes and stuff because he wants to destroy everything from Mortal Kombat 10, I think that is. So it's like a combination of Mortal Kombat 10, somewhat. But it's a little different stories with that. But it was cool. Like you saw the new Sub-Zero. Now he's basically getting revenge for his brother being killed. Jax now has his arms in this one because he had normal arms in the first one, and now he got his new arms. You see Stryker is in this one. You see some of the Outward people like Jade. I saw the Bug Lady. So yeah, I mean, it was all right. I mean, I enjoyed it.
So they got pretty good characters in there. If they've got like Devora, the Bug Lady,
yeah, because it's kind of the story of mixed with Mortal Kombat 9 and 10. It's kind of because like I said, Shinnok is like in there too, and so. he was the main bad in 10. And so and Raiden, I think he turned to immortal, and I thought when he became immortal, he still could use electricity. That was just like a power, and he just still can. He just could die, but I ain't seen electricity no more. And I was like, oh, I said, well, that sucks. Because I don't know what he can do. Because I was like, so his move, all you can do is just that, like, what, shoot. He did do that forward
the flying
slam thing where he's like flying. Yeah. But I was like, darn. That kind of just takes away from what he is. Because I was like, come on, man, Johnny Cage can still do that kick thing. I was like, come on, I mean, you could have had him still use electricity. He just could die. He can bleed now. But yeah, it was an alright movie. Also watched Super Sons, these Batman, Superman, Super Sons, or whatever it's called. DC Super Sons. I don't know what the full title is, but it's the cartoon. It's the cartoon movie of like Batman's and Superman's son, and that was pretty good. I actually liked it. I enjoyed the show. It was pretty funny. With them is like how Damian like is all basically serious and stuff like that, and Superboy, he's really like a kid, and because Damian was raised by Ra's al Ghul and them, so he's definitely his childhood has been really taken away, and he doesn't act like a child. So it's like cool that with him with Superman's son, John, because he does want that, like, it's like Damian wants that friendship stuff, but he just doesn't know, like, how to react. Because he was trying, it's like in this story, he's trying to join the Teen Titans, but they didn't accept him because he's not a team player or something. Mm-hmm. And he was upset, but he would just say, like, what? I said, I was just only joining you guys because my dad asked. It's like, I didn't need you or something like that. It's like, yeah, it was a good movie, man. It's on HBO Max. They took a lot of those movies out of HBO Max. Now I'm even hearing it going back separate again.
Oh, really?
Discovery, a rumor that Discovery and Warner Brothers is separating again, and it's like, what the hell? I don't know what the hell's going on over there.
They definitely don't know.
And that's it. I guess we could talk about, the dragon. What's it called? House of Dragons.
House of the Dragon.
Because I finally caught up on them. I watched the 3 episodes. And yeah, it's all right. That one action. Well, they had a battle in there, the action-packed episode. Spoiler alert. I'm just gonna go right to it. Like dealing with what the king, the current king ain't gone. Him going in and mess up the plans and going into the fight, and and then his brother taking advantage of that situation. Yep. Like he just all he can say is like, hey, I was just trying to save him, but my dragon just caught him on fire. It was just, it was her. It was her. It's always either her or it's just it's a mistake. You either cover his ass on either one, so he could be king. And yeah, it was kind of funny that his mother was talking about how she should rule. Yeah. And like he should deal with the military, because it's like, wait a minute, that's the whole point. We didn't pick Rhaenyra to be queen.
Well, it wasn't we don't really have an argument if we decide to go with you.
Yeah, because the whole thing with Rhaenyra wasn't that she was going to be she was just a bad queen. Yeah, it was because of tradition. Yeah, that's what it was. So it was like, this wouldn't make sense for that to be. So. Yeah, and as I was saying, it's like because then we wouldn't be in the situation they're in if that was the case. Mm-hmm. She would be queen, and that would be it. But yeah, so that was interesting, and almost seeing how she's basically saying is it a mistake that all this happened? Mm-hmm. You always see it with her father, grandfather to those kids, putting him out. And then now I will say that the brother, he is smarter. He actually does. he actually he reads and learns and stuff, and he knows stuff. He knows shit.
He straight disrespected him in Old Valerian or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. That guy could. You know what? I was just trying to think. The way he spoke Valerian, was it like he barely could speak it?
Yeah, basically the way Aegon was speaking it was basically like a child,
like broken broken Valerian, basically. Like you just like you're like that's your second language. So that was pretty. Oh man. So I mean, I will say that, but the whole, like somebody said, like the HBO's promotion of the new series, it's kind of weird because they try to make it like what side you're choosing.
Yeah.
But they're not really giving you much to choose from.
No, I mean it's very lopsided right now as to who the good people are.
Only Damon. Like Damon is the only dark side.
Yeah, and he's been off doing his own thing this entire season.
Yeah.
So you don't even necessarily associate
like, this stuff
him
is not even in the book.
Yeah,
because he did leave, but they had to create a story or something while he was doing there.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I was like, I'm not saying like, oh, there's bad people on both sides, but like this side right now, everything is like, man, they're just awful on this one side.
Yeah,
that's what it seems like. The only thing you can say with the other side is that her not being too proactive, like her. Well, I mean, which is almost a good thing, but also can be bad. Yeah. Like her not taking too much action because she's trying to prevent a war, and not accepting the inevitable. Like they're saying, look, man, it's done. It's going to happen. Yes, I mean, ideally, yes, you want to prevent a war, but like whatchamacallit says, like, are you going to step down from being queen, trying to be queen? Because it seems like if they're not willing to step down, it's going to be a war. So yeah, but what do you think about these episodes?
Yeah, I think like I told you last week, the last one, the previous one with all the action, I thought was really cool. You know, to finally see some of this dragon on dragon stuff that we've been kind of leading to for quite a while now. We got a little taste of that at the end of last season when Aemon took out Luke, I think it was the smaller child with the tiny dragon. And then this latest episode was kind of back to the games and the politics of it all. You know, seeing Aegon come back all burnt up, but seemingly still alive. I wonder where that's actually going to lead, whether, you know, he's going to be in any shape to challenge for the throne, or if even just his existence there is kind of a vegetable is going to make his mother want to, you know, fight Aemon more, you know, to not have him fully in power. But that almost seems like a given at this point. You know, everybody at the small council basically backed him, including, you know, the weird foot guy and everything. So, you know, even the people she thought might be on her side, Kristen Cole and whatnot, you know, they all turned their backs on her. So I don't know what leg she has to stand on. And, you know, obviously with Rhaenyra's side, now you've got Corlys coming in as the hand, seemingly. I hope he can kind of get them back in shape and you know, maybe progress what they're trying to do here. I don't know. Maybe they can even get Daemon back on board now that they're sending people up there to basically, like, he's not answering the Ravens. We got to actually send somebody to talk to him. You know, all he's doing up there is tripping balls or whatever, it seems like. So yeah, it definitely seems like we're getting pretty close to the end of the season now. I think there's like 3 episodes or something like that left. So obviously some big things are going to happen. I just wonder how far into the story we're going to get before, you know, season 3. I mean, obviously we already know season 3 is official, but you know, knowing as much or as little as I do about like the book stuff, like I really wonder how much of this we're gonna we're gonna get in this season and next season. If they're going to continue to kind of just stretch it out as much as they can, or if even they go as far as saying like, well, there's so many years between this and Game of Thrones, we can basically, you know, start making stuff up and just continue the show. And that's not necessarily what I want, because we definitely saw how that went with Game of Thrones. But man, that old man needs to start putting out some books, Dominic, so they can do their inevitable Game of Thrones reboot and just be like, oh, we're going to remake these last couple of seasons based on the actual stories that George R.R. Martin's telling now or something.
That man, he is not going to finish.
No,
it's just
absolutely not.
Oh, man.
It's a good thing I'm not a book fan, Dominic.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm missing out on.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so glad I'm not. Yeah. Because that's just ridiculous. That's just like, damn. All right. So I guess we get to what we've been playing.
Yeah.
So what you been playing, man?
I've been playing a little bit more of Elden Ring, but I haven't really made much progress. I found this castle that I was supposed to like free up, but there's this dude at the top that has a sword that has like scarlet rot or something like that on it, and he just annihilates me. I did thankfully find a save right outside of that castle. For the longest time, I was like transversing this whole like decently long field area every time I died, and I was like, well, I want my souls or whatever they're called in this game back. I want my collectibles back so that I can upgrade my guy. So I guess I got to go back there and try and beat this guy, but it's kind of a long way, and I don't want to keep having to do this. And then I found out like literally right outside the castle there's a bonfire equivalent, a shrine of whatever. So it's been a little easier to get my retries in, but I still haven't succeeded there. So I've just kind of been stuck there. But I did try Neon White now that that's finally on Game Pass. I wanted to give that a try since that came out. But it just felt like a Game Pass game. Like I knew at some point it was coming there. So I tried that out, and I think the gameplay's fantastic, even though I do get a little confused with the buttons because it's all shoulder stuff because they want you to be able to keep both fingers on the sticks. So it does throw my mind off a little bit. Like sometimes I want to jump and I press A instinctually, but it's on left bumper. So I'll do that, or I'll use like the weapon destruction card, the card destruction, which is on left trigger, mistakenly instead of pressing like right trigger, which is just to use the card, you know. And in this game you'll have cards that are like, this is a gun, it acts like a pistol, so you can shoot people if you use right trigger, or if you use left trigger it'll shoot you up into the air. So I found myself like mistaking that, especially if I just did a level where like the focus is on using the destruction cards, but then I come apart a part where I'm supposed to use the actual like gun ability or something like that. But so far I did all of the first mission levels, and then I went back and I got some of the gifts, and I went back and got some of the like ace times. Because the one thing that I don't like about it already is that they locked progression behind like a certain neon level, which means you have to do these courses quickly and efficiently. And like, for me, that's the kind of stuff that I'll happily do myself. Like the first level I played and then I replayed instantly just to try and get a better time. It's very much like Trials in that way.
Yeah.
But to lock progression through the story behind that kind of stuff, I don't like that, because at some point I might want to just watch the stuff or see the new levels.
Yeah, I think that's what I think that's why I kind of stopped. Cause I think I just kept doing one level, and like I kept getting missing it, and I said I'll come back, and I just never came back.
Yeah, and I could definitely see that being a reason why I would end up stopping with this game, just getting to kind of a breaking point where it's like I've kind of done all these to the extent that I wanted to do them. but I'm not totally sure how high those bars are going to be later in the game, because like early on I needed like 3 more levels than I had already gotten just playing the way I played. So I went back and I did a couple, and I could go on like YouTube and see what routes people took but yeah, there's that kind of barrier, it might push me away from this game. I will say, like, I just instantaneously kind of started skipping through the cutscene stuff and the story. It all seems kind of like super cringy stuff when I've occasionally like dipped back into it. So I'm not really motivated by that at all, but the gameplay is definitely there to keep me interested through this game, as long as it doesn't get too gatekeepy with the level situation. But so far I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's just really the only thing I'm struggling with is kind of the controls, and I don't know, I'd have to look and see if I could remap those, but I'm not sure that I would want to, because I get their intention. Like, they want you to be able to do all the stuff while keeping both fingers on the trigger. Honestly, I would be interested to see how this game plays with mouse and keyboard more than anything. I think that might be a better way to play this game, since some of the stuff is not necessarily precise aiming, but I feel like a more precise control scheme would definitely help you with some quicker times. So yeah, but so far, really cool game. Glad it's on Game Pass now, and I'm glad I was able to finally give it a try. So what have you been playing, Dominic?
All right, so I played Kunitsu-Gami, Path of the Goddess, that just came out, and it's on Game Pass. And this was the Capcom game that at first, when you first see it, it's like, oh, it looks like one of those action stylish games. But then but then you see that oh, they look like you're commanding people to do some stuff.
It's Brutal Legend.
Yeah, it's a combination of an action, like Brutal Legend, but a combination of an action and strategy game, where you have this goddess who you have to protect, and you have this passage that goes through places in this forest or village or something, and these enemies are coming. So you have to like at night the enemies come. So during the day you have to create the passage, and what you use these have a certain amount of orbs that you collect throughout the village. Maybe you you purify something and you get these orbs, and you can use them to create a passage for the goddess to go, so she'll move along the passage. And so you have a limited amount of orbs. You get more orbs when you kill enemies and things of that nature, or you can use those orbs or whatever to help some of the villagers, to give them abilities to help you, and then you could command them to be placed somewhere on that stage to when the enemies come. So it's almost like a tower defense kind of thing going on here. She moves along the path, and then she stops when it's night, and then the enemies start coming, and that's when you have to defend her. You got like these action buttons. I think you get like, even after you kill some enemies, you can do some special ability. And then and as you even fighting, you can pause the game to place the enemies, your soldiers or whatever, in whatever position you want. And the soldiers have different. You got different type of people you can be. I just played the demo right now because I already had that installed. Even though the game came out, so I just played the demo. And you can there's a woodcutter right in the demo, and then I forgot what the other one is. It's some kind of magical being where they can bind. They do something to the enemies. They bind the enemies or whatever. It kind of stops them. So you can go kill them. Can stop them from. It stops them momentarily from going to the goddess. And so you can use those guys to help you out from that. And then what you're trying to do is get the guys up to this doorway so you can go, I guess, to the next stage. And then the next stage, it was like a boss battle where, you have to fight the boss, and other enemies start coming too. So you have to really get your men in whatever situation you need. Like if you want to help them fight your boss, or and protect her, or have them fight the boss, or you protect her, whatever. It's like whatever you want. You choose to do. So yeah, it's a different sort of gameplay. Yeah, it is reminding me of Brutal Legend. In that, where it's a mix of action and strategy. And it's all right. I mean, so far, I like it. Yeah, I enjoy it because I do like the strategy element of it and everything. I do want to play some more of it. But I'm playing these other games, But I just want to try it out and to see if it's any good. And like so far, it's all right. Now I don't know like how like keep playing while I enjoy it. But so far, just it's pretty simple right now. Now if it doesn't really change up too much. Like, if it just stays like what it is now, then yes, I won't think it's that great a game. I'll think it's still. I'm hoping there's something as you progress through the game that will change it up and make it more not so monotonous. Like not because if it's just like these enemies that's coming through. I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be new enemies to come by, and I know there are different also you're going to have different soldiers types because right now they're going to give you two, and I see like some that are locked that you can change people to help you, so that should help. But if it but I just want to know like, okay, like something to make a variety to it, like to because I can see this getting old if it just kind of stays what it is. But I don't know, I haven't seen reviews yet. And I only played about 2 stages in the demo. I don't know how far the demo goes, but I just uninstalled it because the game is out now. I'm just installing the main game and just see how that is. Or I look at the reviews. I mean, when the reviews say like it don't change much, then I like, I'll hold off on it. But yeah, so that's the game. So that's the type of game it is. So at least I know that. So how good it is, I don't know right now. I mean, so far the like gameplay though, it's easy to get into. It's not too complicated, so that's good. And I mean, I'm okay. The action, I would say that like it's like this ain't no Devil May Cry or anything with this. So it's not like different like really lot of combos to go with. I don't know if you can level up your character so it can do more. But yeah, it's pretty simple. Like you press XXX then triangle to do a move, kind of like a Dynasty Warriors, basically with that.
Right.
Like all this is like X is the basic attack, Y is like the hard attack, and then you may do some combos. Just hit X twice, hit Y. I mean, I said Y. I mean triangle, and then hit this is based on an Xbox controller. I'm saying, and then or hit XXX then triangle, or then hit X 3 times and then triangle. It's like that's basically all the combos you got. Or like right now, I'm hoping that it's something like, hey, you level up, you get some new moves or something, because that can get pretty freaking fast. And I don't know. I'm trying to think. Was there a dodge button? I don't know if there was a dodge. I think it was. I don't know. Because now I'm getting my games confused. I remember it was the game I played, and I was kind of upset. I didn't have a dodge button. I was like, "Oh man, how am I supposed to dodge these attacks?" And I'm trying to think what it was. I think it was no. I think that does have a dodge button. I think that was Dragon Age Inquisition. I was upset because I can't really dodge. Was that the game I couldn't dodge in? Yeah, because when I kept pressing like circle, B, for the Xbox, and I kept thinking, because I'm so used to action games being, hey, you dodge for this or something like that, and you didn't. Yeah, that was another action, and I'm still playing Dragon Age Inquisition. I finished I somewhat finished one map. I'm sure there's some secrets and stuff still there. I got to do. But that's the combat system is not great. Like, put it like this: if it was whatever year it came out, if it came out like maybe like 3 or 4 years even before that, maybe it will be okay.
Yeah.
I think even then it was adequate. But yeah, compared to games now, like it's just like nah. It's like you need to either just be a full RPG like combat or go full action because this in between right here is just not doing it. Um, but the story is okay. I think it gets a little too like when I'm talking to people, some of this stuff is just I don't know, it's just boring. Like I'm like, come on, it's like this ain't interesting to say, but I can't help myself because I gotta talk to everybody, and I was like, man, yeah, you could have done something better to the script, and like you could have wrote something better for this person or whatever, and I don't know, and even like what your responses are just like sometimes they're just not even great. Like I was like, it's not. It doesn't feel as good as like Mass Effect or even. And it's like almost like once. Like actually, like so far the responses that you give in Dragon Age 2 were pretty good because that's when your character spoke in that. That's the first time your character speaks in a Dragon Age game is 2. This I'm not feeling. Like I'm not feeling this person who's the character. So yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering if the woman is better in this game. So I don't know. Yeah, yeah, playing this game, like I'm like, man, I just see a lot of problems. Like, but I still want to go through it. I still want to go through the game, and but yeah, but I see like, man, this game was game of the year for that year. I was like, man, that was a bad year. I mean. I mean, it was game of the year for some people because other Shadow of Mordor, or was it Shadow of Mordor or Shadow of what?
Shadow of Mordor, yeah, it was the first game that came out.
Okay, it was the first one.
Yeah,
okay,
because Shadow of War was the other one.
All right, so yeah, that's what I'm saying is like, yeah, this. I mean, at the time it was cool but you see, you got this open world where you can't transverse as that fast. You can't climb on things. Like you have to walk. Like I'm figured out like how to get on top of this mountain part. I have to walk all the way around to see that, oh, there's the pathway. And where I can say like, darn, I wish I could just jump high enough on this rock. And then the cheats that are out there aren't working for me. I try to even do the Nexus mod like to get like a super jump, but with the whole EA well, it's not Origin anymore, but like the whole EA Play app and stuff, it just makes things confusing and it's like more complicated what it should be to get things working. Because I kept doing what they said, I was like, the mods still ain't working. And then because technically you got this game, I think I do too. I got this game free on Epic. So I was wondering, like, because that's why I had to ask for your Epic password because it wouldn't let open the game. I said, why is it opening the game? And then I saw something like Epic, and I was like, what? I downloaded this from Xbox Live.
That's weird.
Why is Epic tying this to this game? And I didn't want to. And I was trying to figure out like how do you untie Epic to the game and tie it to something else without me uninstalling. And I was like, I'm not uninstalling this game, so I just said fuck it. I just had to do it with Epic. and you know what's even worse is that you open Epic and you have to open EA Play, and it's like what the f, man. And thing is, Xbox Live still recognizes the game is there, so I'm like, what? Wait a minute, so why? So I
have three launchers associated with this game.
It is crazy, man. I was like, this is bad. Like, and it's really it's mainly EA's fault with just having EA, Ubisoft, and them having their own launchers. It's like, yo, dude, don't do this. It's like you just make things harder for the PC guys and things of that nature. I mean, and then for people on consoles, you gotta have your own sign-in too. It's like, hey, yo, you part of EA's thing? It's like, man, motherfucker, you just go, you take my gamer tag and you just associate with that, and that's it. I should not have to sign anything else up. And like if you want me part, like I'm not here for that. I'm just trying to play a game. Yeah, so I hate going through that shit. But yeah, that game is, I'm seeing a lot of issues with it, but I'm gonna play through some more, and because I definitely want to play the DLC because I haven't played the DLC when it came out. for this to see if it was any good. But there were some things I did like about the game. But now that it's age, it's definitely age. Like, I definitely see the age in it. And I definitely see, like, with being out in the field, I'm not seeing such great story. And it's like, man, I'm maybe not those people who did like 2 better than this. They may have something there. I mean, as far as story, I think 2 story so far is better. But there were problems with this game. I remember they had or people had articles for this game too about some of the problems they went through. But this one. Mm-hmm. So what else have I played? I played some more Nickelodeon. Also Brawl 2. Yeah, the single player is almost like a rogue-like kind of thing because you go through these stages, then you fight a boss, and if you lose, you start from the beginning, but you have you can level up and you have whatever abilities that you have achieved, and then you can switch. What you collect characters on the way too, because different characters is random. Like that's why I got Katara from the second Avatar. Well, it's not Last Airbender. And then I got who else? I got this girl. It's a show I never watched. She has a guitar, and she's not the main character. I think she might be maybe I don't know if she's a bad guy in that show. I have no idea where she's from, honestly.
Oh, weird.
I don't know if she's from the Ghost Boy show, or something else. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, she looked like a Danny Phantom character. I don't know if she's from the Fairly Odd Parents. I have no idea. She could maybe that's his sister. Does he have a sister? I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know who she is. And I know I got the Starfish. Pete, what's his Patrick? I did get Patrick. I think I felt like I got somebody else too. But I just played with Katara, who I like her abilities. They're pretty good. But I'm still getting, because here's the difference between this and as far as controls. Like jumping button, I'm used to smash, just pressing up to jump. Mm-hmm. This is not that. You have a button for jump, so I'm always making a mistake. And like when I press up, I'm just doing an ability or something. And like, yeah, I'm not used to I actually prefer the jump button to be up, because now I'm just used to that. Which is funny, because when I first played Smash, I wasn't used to that. I used to always press a button for jump and then forget, like, oh, it's just up. Now I finally understand it. I wonder if I could change controls. I wish I had something like, hey, this is like some type of control. They call it something, so without calling it, this is Smash Bros. Controls. Because they do the same ability stuff, so I'm like, damn, man, just make up. Please be jump, man. Like that. It just makes it a whole lot easier to do things. And what else? I mean, that's all. I didn't play much of it, but yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, it feels like a Smash game to me, honestly. And it's cool that has voice acting and everything in there, so that's cool. What else have I played? I played some more Trails. What the hell is that Trails game called? The newest one.
Trails and not into Reverie, right?
Nah, that was the last one I played. Through Daybreak. Trails Through Daybreak. I don't get that. I mean, I haven't got to the point in that game where I can understand the title yet. But like, what does that mean? But I did play a lot of that, and I did get a new character. I'm pretty upset that it's not a character who's close to my age. It's still it's either a younger girl who's like probably like 13 or something, who just became a teenager. But she used to be with these Jaegers, and Jaegers are basically like mercenaries or something like that. I mean, you see them in the since the first game. The Jaegers you saw in the first game, I believe, were pretty bad. The second game, you actually got a character who was a former Jaeger. She was young, and now she's like, I think as I played through the game, she's 18 now. And she's probably, now she's even older. She's probably like 19, 20. because it's supposed to be 2 years later. And they even mentioned something like her, because they said like, because a person who's like this girl's like adopted sister or whatever, she was saying how, hey, I used to have another young person like who came young like you, but she's older or something like that, and he said, I want you to meet her, blah blah blah, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I got that character, and now she's working for me, and the guy who's her father, like adopted father, he gave a letter saying, I want you to take care of her and stuff. And then he's gonna say something like that, hey, but if I hear you make any moves on her or something like that, I'm just like, what the fuck? You like trying to call me a pedophile or like? Why would you even like they do that in these games? Like, hey, you with this person? It's like, she's a little too young for me. Okay, like that's not a joke you should be making. It's like if you say anything inappropriate, then that should be like illegal and really frowned upon. And like, yeah, they do that. These games, I mean, that's Japanese games in general to me. Japanese anime type of games, they make those type of jokes, and yeah, and those people, they say that's all innocent and stuff, and those message boards and stuff saying like, whatever. It's like that's just the way their culture is. Okay, their culture is pedophilia. Well, I guess that's what you're trying to say. That I mean, but it's just like it's always the same type of joke. That's the thing. It's like these games all have the same joke with that. It's like, why? It's always the same. But anyway, so I got her. I'm trying to wait till I get a character who's like older like me. It's like, god damn, because they do say, it's like all the games always have something like, oh, you can be in a relationship with somebody or something like that. And I think in this game you have that too. But I was like, okay, the two people I have are pretty too young, so I'm definitely not going to be them. It's like, and I swear, if they make it so you can, it's God, fucking weird ass shit. Yeah. So right now I'm still at the beginning, but I think it's like chapter 2. I'm in chapter 2 now, so yeah, because we went to a new town and everything, and now like technology progresses in this world fast, because in the first game, which is not actually that long ago. Mm-hmm. Like, it's right now, it might be the first game takes place, maybe. I don't even know, it's been 10 years, honestly. But at that point in the game, cars did not exist. They did not exist. Now, going to Crossbell, that was some years later, only a few years later, maybe like 4 years later or something, cars start coming to be. But only certain people had them, because it wasn't out to the public yet. And then electronic stuff started happening. Like, you had washing machines and stuff. Like, they call them orbital stuff, because the orbital stuff is the stuff they use that can make machines work and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So now they're getting stuff like they had washing machines, vacuum cleaners, and things of that nature that some people have. And some people don't have them because, like I said, it's still new and they're expensive now. But now it's to the point, like, now in this game, this ain't that far in the future, but people are just driving. The character I have has a truck. They have a truck. Like, it went from just like a simple little car to now people got different trucks, motorcycles. And a motorcycle, I remember because in the Trails of Cold Steel game, this girl and this dude, they were making this board. Mainly the dude was making the motorcycle, and she was basically the test driver of it. Mm-hmm. They were just starting. It's like, hey, we're building an orbital bike, like a 2-wheel bike or something, to like we're guided and testing and stuff like that. And now it's there, and now it's out there for the public to buy. It's like, yeah, like you going for places where people didn't have none of this stuff in the first game, Trails of the Sky. Like, this stuff was not happening to. Now electronics are just like a normal thing, like TVs and stuff. TVs weren't even around. Now TVs are out there, like you see, and stuff happening. And it's like that, like in this world, like technology goes fast. It is like once they got the orbital stuff, people understood it. They just start building all this stuff, like computers and internet. Yeah. like they got the whole infrastructure just there. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. So yeah, that's basically it for what I've been playing. So I guess we'll take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to the flashback segment.
All right.
And we're back. And now we're flashbacking to 2014. There's only one game worth mentioning in the flashback segment. Not many games come out this week also in July for the past 30 years. But there was one game worth mentioning. Freedom Planet came out 10 years ago. This was a game that really harkens back to like Sonic the Hedgehog type of games, speedy games and all that nature. I think some of the developers worked on a Sonic game or anything.
I can't remember now. I feel like they had some kind of lineage there. Yeah.
Let me see. The player controls blah 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 blah. With development, focus Windows. It was a Kickstarter game. It was successful. It eventually came on other systems later on. They did have a sequel, that just came out. It came out on major platforms this year, but it came out in 2022. I don't know.
It started out as a Sonic the Hedgehog fan game. And then got turned into Freedom Planet.
Yeah, and I played the game. I got it because it was like one of those bundle free. I mean, like it was bundled in a Humble Bundle thing, I believe. And I got it for the Wii U. And I was like, hey, I need a game for Wii U. And I was playing on the Wii U pad. And I was like, oh man, this game is pretty cool. And I didn't even know like what kind of. I never heard of the game before. And then I started looking at it and saw like. What was like, it was Sonic, like inspired by Sonic and things of that nature. And it has full voice acting in it, which I'm very surprised. Nice, yeah. It's pretty funny. And the gameplay, it feels weird sometimes, like it's kind of loose and fast, but it does have a difficulty where you can make it a whole lot easier so that you really can't get hurt sometimes. Like they get difficulty where you really don't get hurt. So you can just kind of play around the stage a bit and everything, and which is pretty cool. But it was fun. I really liked it. And I couldn't wait for 2, but 2 just took so long to come out. It almost 10 years. Like 2022 is when it finally come out, because I had played this game late, honestly, and I was like waiting. So I was like, oh, so 2. I saw a trailer for 2. Like it was like a teaser trailer. And then it had like a little like demo you can play, but yeah, it just took forever. And I don't know how many people left. I was wondering, like, how many people worked on this game? Like maybe it's not that many people. Maybe it takes so long. I don't know. But yeah, it was pretty awesome. You chose between 2 characters, a cat and a cat-looking alien, and I don't know what the other one is called. She's supposed to be a dragon. Okay, she don't look like your traditional dragon. I can tell you that right now, because if you looked at her, you wouldn't think dragon. But that's what they said she is. She's the main character really, and her partner is this cat on a motorcycle, and the cat with the motorcycle, she actually rides the motorcycle. Like you have her, and I think she can get off of it and stuff like it. It's so weird, but it's crazy because I never finished the game with her. I finished the game with the other character, but yeah, I liked it. I actually enjoyed the game. I thought it was pretty cool. All right, so that's it for the flashback segment. So we're just gonna go right into the gaming news, man. So what's going on in the gaming world?
All right, Dominic. Not much, honestly. There are a couple of things though. Starfy, the previously Japanese-only Game Boy Advance games have made their way to the Nintendo Online service. They are still in full Japanese though. They're mostly platformers, so it's not too detrimental to the experience, but I will say, having played a very tiny bit at the beginning of Starfy 1, the first one, it is kind of like, I wish I knew what was actually happening here. So this very much feels like, hey, we did this for the Japanese region and might as well put out some more content on the American store while it's there. It's also very niche. These are games that I've heard in the past about, spoken pretty positively about, but obviously never having come over to the Americas and never getting official ports with English language, never really gotten a chance to try them. So I just wish, like, I wonder if there are fan translations like there are for some things like Mother 3 or something like that for this game. And if so, I wish they could, kind of license those or give those creators some kind of money to get that version on the Nintendo Switch Online instead of, just playing in the original Japanese, which I honestly can't read. It seems like that would be
Black
cool.
Belt said sue them for even doing that and said, we won't sue you if you just let us have this.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Yeah, you're taking our property, so, Yeah. All right, Dominic, in some unfortunate news, NetherRealms is the latest studio to be hit with layoffs. It sounds like they basically have closed their entire mobile division, which is kind of surprising because they just released that Mortal Kombat mobile game not that long ago, I think earlier this year. I guess that was not successful. In a world where NetherRealms is under the banner of Warner Brothers Discovery, I can't say it's surprising that we're seeing layoffs from that studio. But just having Ed Boon there and having him be the face of Mortal Kombat since basically day one, it always gives this kind of like homegrown vibe to me where it's like, oh, I bet a lot of the people from Mortal Kombat 1 are still there, even though that's probably not necessarily the case. It's probably just him that's really been able to stick around. But because even Tobias isn't around, the other big name from early Mortal Kombat games. So that's unfortunate. Yet again, we're seeing more cuts in the gaming business. Although I did see, and I didn't get a chance to read into this because I just saw it a couple of minutes ago on Reddit, that there was a Bloomberg post, I think, stating that Bethesda Game Studios was actually unionizing, and it wasn't just like the QA. It was like from the quote I saw was from wall to wall. So that would be
I'm surprised you don't have that up there because I didn't realize
you had
that
seen
there.
that? Okay, so that seems like it's a legitimate thing then. I mean, that's awesome if that's the case, that we're going to start seeing.
Yeah, because they put a
bigger studios.
That was like a long letter thing out there.
Mm-hmm.
I saw on Twitter that I forgot who retweeted. I think it was Jason Schreier.
That sounds right. I can't remember if what I saw was Jason Schreier having posted it or not. CWA, the big union. We, a majority of developers at Bethesda Game Studios, Dallas, Rockville, and Austin, are ecstatic to announce the formation of our union with CWA Union. Together as one BGS USA, we advocate for the betterment of every developer at BGS, setting the new standard for our industry. And of course, Microsoft has stated in the past that they would, respect any unions that were to rise. So I believe they have officially acknowledged this. So that is
what mob is behind this? What mob is behind this union?
Let's see. The Bethesda workers will be members of CWA Local 2108 in Maryland and CWA Local 6215 in Texas. So let's see if we look up CWA Local 2108, if Communication Workers of America. I wonder what affiliations they have from the back in the days, Dominic. Are these moonshine runners? What are we dealing with here? How many people got buried in concrete to make this happen? But yeah, all jokes aside, that's awesome that we're starting to see a very big and well respected, studio start to start down this path. Hopefully, more will follow. I am very interested to see, as a whole, how far unionization can get in game development, because of how much game development is still done in Japan, because that just does not seem like a culture that is necessarily looking for huge employee, protections. I could be wrong about that, but it from the outside looking in, it definitely seems like a place where, like, you are expected to work until you die, and if we are not satisfied by your work, we will put you in a small room by yourself until you either quit or kill yourself. So, yeah. All right, Dominic. And then the last news that I got is GeForce Now streaming is an option on the Xbox. So you can now, in addition to using Xbox's cloud streaming service, use GeForce Now's, which you've stated in the past from your experience is superior. I've definitely seen a lot of people's sentiment online this past week basically state the same thing, especially, if you go for the ultimate tier where you're basically running on a 4090, I could definitely see that being a huge improvement over, running on a cluster that is effectively an Xbox Series X.
But it's not even just that. It's just that the cloud is just like playing against over the internet is just better on there.
Gotcha.
Like, not even just the look of the game. It just
input
runs
latency and things of that nature as well. I gotcha.
I mean, it always depends on your internet. Yes.
Sure.
But it feels like from your comparable internets, if
in
you have
ideal conditions,
one or the other, it's the GeForce is better. Yeah. I mean, that I think that's just what it is. It's just GeForce is better.
Yeah.
And I was hoping Microsoft would get to that point. I mean, shit.
I still hope they do, but it does make you wonder if that competition is there.
Yeah, if they just say, like, hey, we just
we're partnering with these guys,
work with them, partner with them guys. But I was like, darn, but like the free tier, you only can play an hour of gaming, and it's a long wait. Sometimes it's a long wait to even just get in.
Yeah.
To the hour of gaming, and I don't want to have to pay for another service.
Yeah.
I just
which effectively doesn't give you access to any games. It just gives you access to the ability to play the games that you've either bought or own through, Game Pass. And especially because it's also limited, like you were saying before we started recording, you'd like to play Borderlands, but 2K stuff isn't available through this service, which kind of sucks. It's one of those things where it's like, why do they necessarily have to license the game if it's my copy of the game that I bought? If you're just using games that I own, why does there have to be an additional, like, I understand, like, having to, if I'm marketing and saying, hey, like, we can play Borderlands, and post Borderlands everywhere, I would understand why they would want some kind of kickback off of running off of their name, but just giving someone the ability to play that game, it's almost like, should I be giving Radeon or ATI money should they be giving money to, video game companies because I'm going to buy one of their cards to play? It almost doesn't make sense that way. So, maybe there's economics that I'm not thinking about, but it definitely seems kind of anti-consumer. I will say right now they're doing sales on GeForce Now, and it's $5 a month for the priority service or $10 a month for the ultimate service.
$5 a month that's all right.
It seems pretty reasonable. Yeah,
I want that forever.
Well, you can
like if there was $5, I had to put, like, if there was part of Game Pass, like, say, hey, pay $5 extra, you can GeForce. I said okay.
No, instead you're going to pay $5 extra for absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Now, if you sign up for 6 months for that priority level, it's about $4.16. It's $25 a month for 6 months, or $50 for 6 months of the ultimate.
Oh,
So,
okay, yeah.
yeah, that's it's definitely, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, definitely a time to get in on this. But it's really going to depend on if the games that you want to be playing are available through that service or not. So, I would like to see this grow into, a service, basically a Netflix or a Hulu or something like that, where it's
Yeah,
like,
not just you own the game that you
well,
can
not even
rent the
like
game?
that. I mean, I would like to see that as well, but I just, as far as like, oh, this is available on PlayStation, this is available on Xbox, this is available on Roku,
yes.
or Switch.
I wanted, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, yeah, because it's just on PC, so it's just going to be the PC games that they have. But PlayStation has PC games now, and plus the third party. I mean, like this case, yeah, because like let's just say, hey, I own this game, but it's on the PlayStation. But see, nah, because then they're going to be like, nah, we want you to buy you got to buy a PC version, and then you can play it.
Well, that's literally all I really want is to take my PC. Say I want to play Elden Ring, but I don't have a Steam Deck, play that on my Switch and just stream it to my Switch or something like that. And that way you can get those higher class.
Oh, you say like on the consoles. Okay,
yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I mean, there are obviously, in a more consumer-friendly world, I would also like to be able to be like, oh, I just want to stream a Mario game that I own to whatever device I want, like that. That would also be cool. I don't believe that would ever happen. So I'm trying to be somewhat realistic here. Yeah. But yeah, it would be nice if they had some kind of library built in, or whether they could partner. Like, that's the way I would like to see them partner with a PlayStation or an Xbox and be like, hey, our Game Pass or our PlayStation Plus libraries are free, are available, and no additional expense besides paying for GeForce Now, to stream via that. Because we've talked about how, PlayStation doesn't really have that service right now, right? Is like, that's one of the benefits of Game Pass over PlayStation Plus, is they don't really have a lot of that streaming stuff. They do have some aspects of that, but not in the same way that the Xbox does.
Yeah, in the same way. And like, yeah. And then they don't have a PC app where if you have PlayStation Now, you can play these games up there.
Exactly.
And so they that's the and the thing is, and that's what I'm saying, is like, maybe in the future that comes, but it maybe would have came faster if Microsoft would have really, the competition just seemed like it was like there was, the competition kind of forced them to, but it's really not.
Yeah. And it would be nice if Microsoft continues to develop their stuff, because I do like the idea of these partnerships, but I also like the idea of having that competition, so that you do have Microsoft improving their service. You do have Sony coming along and finally getting their thing together to compete with both of those as well, so that we can just continue to enhance this technology.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because not all games are going to be on the, well, like, some people, like, what if, like, say it's like I bought the game on the PlayStation, like I bought Spider-Man on the PlayStation. If some reason, like, they do work with NVIDIA, I don't think they're going to make it. They're going to be like, no, if you bought the PC version, you can work with NVIDIA, because that's what it is. But I want to be like, okay, that's fine, but the PlayStation's network stuff, like, it's good enough that if I just had bought the PlayStation version, that I won't feel like I've been like, oh, I'm playing an inferior. I mean, technically it's going to be inferior just because it's on PlayStation, compared to a high power PC. but not that the actual cloud is inferior though.
Right.
Like that like hey, this is streaming the best, like as if like really great, like as if I did have a PlayStation, almost as if I did have played on PlayStation 5 right here, without me having to load it up or anything. Like I want those cloud services to be like a whole lot better than, well, definitely Xbox, because that's the one I played most, a whole lot better than what it is without it like having that little refresh thing come down sometimes. Like sometimes it works great.
Yeah.
And like I don't see that, and then sometimes like it has like latency is still good. Like I don't feel like I'm being late on the buttons, but it's just like, oh, the screen's kind of a little blurry, and it kind of like,
we've talked about that.
Like,
they definitely prioritize latency over graphical fidelity, which is good, but at the same time, it's like you don't want to play the game even if it feels good if you can barely see what's happening.
Yeah, and I was like, come on, man. I was like, I'm not seeing the like this game should look a whole lot better than this. Like I was like Forza. It's like, come on, man. Forza looks better than this game than when I'm playing, man. It's like it shouldn't look that bad. And then I just think like, okay, because cloud is not that good. But then when I see the NVIDIA games, I'm like, on the cloud. So wait a minute, man. They can look good. So y'all just gotta step up your game.
Yep.
Because like comparing Starfield on video GeForce Now compared to playing it through the cloud, man. Now, I know, like, one is off the Xbox Series X, or I don't know, because I still don't know why why I can't choose the performance modes if it is the X. I can't do none of that stuff. Yeah. It looks just like, not that it just looks better, because it's going to look better, but it just plays just like a whole lot better, man. Just like it's a whole lot cleaner, man. It's not a lot of, it just looks like, because honestly, I just think it looks far worse than what it really looked like if I had it just playing off a Series X. And it shouldn't look that, I think it shouldn't look that bad. It shouldn't look that bad.
Yeah. All right, then, Dominic, that is all the game news I saw for this week. Anything else that you might have saw that you think is worth mentioning?
Here it is. Because, and I forgot to even mention what I've been watching from last week. Paramount cancels the Halo series.
Oh, yeah.
There's only been 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And I had finished watching the second season, and that, I mean, it was better. It's better than the first season. It wasn't great, but it had some good moments. I think, like, I knew where they were going with it, and I know some people are upset because it doesn't follow the Halo story, and that's not why it's bad. It's bad. It's just because it's just told bad or whatever. And that to the point where, if you just follow the story and just change things a bit, it could be better. But like I said, why it's bad is not because it's not the same as Halo. It's not because he doesn't wear his helmet all the time. That's not why it's bad. And that's not why it's bad. I mean, because it still could be good if he doesn't wear his helmet all the time. It's just up to how the writers do their thing. I mean, the actor's fine. It's just the way the story develops. That's really what it is. It's like it goes places that it probably didn't need to go, and it just didn't tell the way he told the story wasn't that great. I mean, but the parts when they get to the action and stuff like that, it was good, and I kind of wish it was more of that, and it almost implies like, oh, season 3 is really going to be action, but it's like, man, I should have did it this one. This was the one y'all should have did it.
Yeah.
Like, don't wait till the third. It's like, what are you doing? Even though, like, this is more than this first season, yes, but really, like, I do agree with this. Like, he's out of his arm. It's not just he just don't have a helmet on. He's out of his armor a lot this season because of the story. And that's, look, I'm okay with that, but but now that I know that it's been canceled, I mean, they are shopping it around for a third one, but because of what happened, like how people talked about the first season, I feel like you couldn't do that. You can't do that now.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this should have been straight like Master Chief stuff, and you build a story around that, not around what happened or whatever. Like maybe like what happened in this. I mean, I'm out fine. I'll spoil it. What like with him because the government is hiding stuff and they trying to really get him killed because the stuff he knows that, but they trying to hide it from the public, and that's why they basically grounded him and stuff like that and took his armor away. They're building their own soldiers. Well, like based off him in the program, the Spartan program. Yeah. But so he's out of his uniform a lot, and it's like, you know what, that an episode would be good. Like if you did that for an episode and that was a story, fine. 2 is a little stretch, fine, but it's like it's too much. It's too many episodes, man. That he was out of his uniform. I mean, it's a lot of season, and I think like okay, yeah, they this wasn't right. This wasn't done right. Like maybe he probably should not. They should not have it like that. And yeah, man, it just sucks. And now, like especially when you look at the Fallout and Last of Us and how like these shows are getting nominated.
Amazon's gonna pick up Halo and turn it into a 12 Emmy nominated series or something like that.
Yeah. So so it's like, man, yeah, like someone said, it feels like this is a show that should have like maybe like 10 or more so years ago you could get away with because hey, it's a video game show and blah blah blah. But now you got these shows doing what they do. Like even if you want to talk about Arcane, with the League of Legends, which like it has a story, but you know playing through the game, isn't it? It's all stuff you have to read to know the story. Yeah. And I don't even know if it follows it, and I don't even give a damn because it's good. Because it's good. The first one got I don't know if it won an award or it got. I know it definitely got nominated. It might have won something. And now that's coming back. So I'm excited for that. So you got So it's like man, y'all gotta step your game up. To be I ain't say you gotta be no freaking award winning show, but you gotta be decent. You gotta be something.
You gotta be in the game at least.
So yeah. Oh well, like I mean, sort of sad, but they kind of put themselves in that way. Yeah, these guys. I just think the writers and stuff. I mean, either the writers or the director or whatever didn't take it seriously enough or whatever. I don't know where you put the blame on for that. Well, whoever made the direction to go. Yeah, so that's it. That's all. Let me see. Is anything else? Nah, there's nothing else. We can go to what what's the new releases.
Yeah. So first up, we've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Splintered Fate. This is the game that was previously iOS exclusive. It's now making its debut on the Nintendo Switch. It's a roguelike Turtles game, much in the vein of like a Hades style thing. I've heard pretty positive impressions coming out of that iOS game, so I'd be interested to see how reviews fare for this in the Switch form. So that's pretty cool. That's $30.
Okay.
We also on the Nintendo Switch have Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. That's another $30 game. A game that almost feels like it should be part of like the Nintendo Online thing. It sounds like pretty short bursts of NES games, much in like a WarioWare-ish version almost. And it sounds like what the complaints I'm hearing are like what people were expecting as far as like online features, leaderboard, stuff like that is not there. It sounds like it's mostly kind of a on the couch party co-op style. Well, not necessarily co-op, but competitive on the couch style thing, which isn't entirely shocking from Nintendo, but is kind of shocking for what this game seems like it's supposed to be, and the kind of target audience you would be aiming at with this kind of thing. I mean, we're talking about NES games at this point. We're talking about, 40 years ago. This is a game very much, pointed in our direction and a couple years older than that. And not necessarily like families with young kids who are not going to be interested in these classic games. So that was a little disappointing to hear. I don't think I was necessarily going to be picking it up anyway, because I'm not super into the competition aspect of it. But if this were on the Nintendo Switch Online service, part of that expansion pack.
I honestly thought that's what it was. That I thought this stuff was coming to the Nintendo Switch Online, and then I saw, I was like, oh, they make you buy this, and I was like, oh, what? Yeah. I said, okay.
No, I'm good. I mean, maybe one day they'll make it part of the expansion pass, like they've done with some DLCs for like Mario Kart and stuff. But as of right now, I think I'm good on it. After that, we got Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn. That's out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series. That's part of Game Pass as well. So you were telling me a little bit of that about this. It's a lot of people have said kind of Dark Souls like, but it's more Dark Souls light. Sounds like it's maybe a little bit easier, a little more welcoming to people. It looks kind of cool.
Yeah, and I saw. Yeah, and it also, this is story, like it's that actual cutscenes and things of that nature. So yeah,
that's a win.
Yeah, that's also different.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Speaking of,
I wonder what's better. Like, okay, since if it's not as good as the Elden Ring or maybe other Dark Souls, what is it like with game like well, that one and the one that had a part 2. I mean, it's on Game Pass now. What's it called? What's it called? It has a 1 and a 2 that came out. And they both came out at the same time on Game Pass this year.
Oh,
I actually played a little bit of it. Damn, I'm trying to see right up here. Remnant, or Remnant 2. I don't know how it is compared to that one. That got rated okay too, also. So, because the first one got 78 on Metacritic. I'm curious, like, what game is better between those two?
Yeah. All right. Next up, we've got Dungeons of Hinterberg. That is out on PC and Xbox Series. That is also on Game Pass. Well, this is a game we had previously seen, I guess, at maybe an Xbox show or a PC indie show or something. And it looks pretty cool. You're this woman with a sword, and you appear to be exploring what I would imagine are the dungeons of the Hinterberg. So I'd definitely be interested in giving this a shot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I still don't know what it is. I just saw pretty decent reviews.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just try it. It seemed like some people like it and think it's all right. It's got 82 on Metacritic.
Yeah. Yeah, just the Game Pass right now. I'm like, man, there's a couple of things I'd be interested in trying.
What about the Magical Delicacy?
I don't know. I was just looking at that too.
Like, is that new? Or because sometimes, older games come out and I just probably never heard of them. Come on, Game Pass.
Yeah. This kind of reminds me of that one game that was more like fantasy, where it was you going out in this fantasy world, fighting monsters, getting ingredients, and then coming back to the kitchen and cooking. And that's almost what it sounds like from the description of this. Plays the young witch Flora and discover a bustling town in this Metroidvania-inspired wholesome cooking game. So yeah, that does sound kind of cool. Magical.
Got an 85 on Metacritic.
Delicacy.
And Flock. What is that?
This is a co-op multiplayer flight game where you are collecting adorable flying creatures with your friends, soar through the beautiful landscape, seeking out rare and elusive creatures to add to your flock. So it's Pokemon in the Sky, Dominic.
It's an Annapurna published game.
that's a pretty big positive in my book usually. So yeah, this looks weird as you might expect from an Annapurna game, but pretty cool. Definitely something I would be interested to load up on the cloud and give it a quick shot to see if it catches me. Another
It got a 8 out of 10 on GameSpot.
Oh, yeah, okay.
6.9 out of 10 on IGN though.
Gotcha.
That's only 2 I see. I don't see the Metacritic come up. I mean, positive reviews on Steam, but there's all user reviews. Well, let me see. Flock on Metacritic. That's a different game.
Oh, is it the Flock exclamation point with the sheep? Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Yeah. That is a different game. All right. So yeah, I don't know. So yeah, that's only 2 reviews I see. So yeah, so something. I mean, hey, got on Game Pass, you can just easily try it.
Yeah, it looks neat. All right, next up is Kunitsu-Gami, Path of the Goddess. That's out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, as you mentioned earlier. Also on Game Pass. Seems like it might be worth giving a shot to. It sounded like you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So definitely maybe load that up as well. And then here it is, Dominic. EA Sports College Football 25 for the PS5 and Xbox Series. What do you think?
Yeah,
excited about the prospect. Yeah, they have been doing that for PC for a while.
PC. Yeah, because Madden's been coming on. But Madden, FIFA. I don't know about NHL. Maybe NHL, but I'm not sure.
I think it's been a while since NHL's come on PC.
And so but anyway. Yeah, this game has been really popular, man. I think this had like 2 million sales of just the early access edition, when you get 4 days, which is like $100 for that. So hey, man. So you know what? No more. I guess. Look, I mean, the people who complain probably don't buy it, which I always find funny. People say y'all complain, but then you go buy it. It's like I'm not the one who's buying it. There's a lot of people who buy it who don't complain about it. It's like, doesn't mean I'm the one buying it, but no, yeah. I mean, this is why they do it. This is why they put this stuff out, because they know people, they can't wait. If it's available to play, the fear of missing out, man, the FOMO, as the kids like to call it. It is just it's too big, man. It's like, I gotta get it. And then sometimes you can justify yourself. It's like, well, it's only $30 more, and I do get. Do you just get? They probably give you something else too, right? With that early access, it's not just you get it early. Do they give you like some?
Yeah, I'm sure there's something you probably
those
get
cards or something, or Ultimate Team or some shit.
Ultimate Team something.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can kind of do some mental gymnastics to justify that stuff, and you can probably just say, "Oh, $30 not that big; it ain't nothing."
Yeah.
Because about how amount of time I've been putting into this game, it's all right. But yeah, so this game is it's huge shit, man. Like they've gotten a lot of people playing it. I forgot the numbers it showed on for Friday when it came out, but. Man, and I saw the game, and it looks good, and it looks like something, I want to have. I mean, I don't have the new consoles yet, so, and I mean, I'm wait till whatever I get a new console, or maybe it come on PC, I don't know. Or wait till it come to, because EA Play stuff eventually come on Game Pass, when as the season winds down and stuff. I might, maybe, it all depends how things go, but this is a good look. This is a good look that college football, they're back, and it looks like they did a good job with the atmosphere and everything. I mean, from what I saw of the road to glory and everything, because I'm not into multiplayer, but just single player stuff, that they do a good job with that extra stuff there too. So good for them. Good on them to doing that, and I'm glad that we finally got the game we want, and And the college players that's up there, they're getting their compensation. So good for them for doing that also.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And like like the look of it, like seeing the atmosphere of the college stuff, like with this new graphics and everything. I'm like, yeah, man, this it looks pretty good. Looks really good.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
So,
All right.
anything else?
Nope, that is it for the new releases this week. If you got anything else, or if we don't have anything else, then we'll wrap it up. All right. Thank you guys, as always, for listening. You can check us out on Twitter. Dominic's at DStalworth5. I'm at Regulus MB. The podcast is at Superpod, SUPAPOD. Superpod.com is the website. You can check us out there. It has links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube Music, Spotify, and Amazon. Until next time, guys, talk to you later.
All right, see you.